We remain a country in denial about our energy fate. Our energy-rich nation, as I've mentioned so many times, has deliberately created an energy supply and price crisis, driven, of course, by climate policies, and it's hurting families and it's crippling our economy. Yet not only do we have governments that pretend we can get to net zero by 2050 by switching to renewable energy, but we also have people committed to ignoring the nuclear power option, which is the only form of energy that can get us to net zero. That's what experts around the world have concluded. So there are some in the Liberal Party now who actually want to axe the only truly necessary and historic reform that the party took to this month's election, and that is the logical plan to add nuclear energy to our mix. This retreat on nuclear, promoted by moderate Liberal bedwetters, is promoted on the basis of opinion polls. In other words, forget the economics, forget the engineering, forget having a plausible plan for our country's future, just follow the polls. And they wonder why they're in opposition. Thankfully, the Nationals have vertebra and are a little bit more logical.
You can't get to net zero without nuclear energy. Now, whether it's specifically the policy that we took around government-owned or whether it's simply removing the moratorium, I think you have to be pragmatic. You cannot do an all-renewables approach and keep the economy going. And we're starting to feel that. We were promised 3 years ago a $275 reduction in our energy bills. They've gone up over $1,300. Unfortunately, physics and economics are going to catch up with us at some point.
Yeah, if you don't think we need to get to net zero, then let's burn coal and gas and have affordable and reliable energy. But if you are intent on getting to net zero, nuclear is essential. Without it, our energy supply and pricing crisis will just go on forever. And the latest countries to realise this are Belgium and Denmark. The Belgians are getting rid of a law that phases out nuclear power and bans new plants. While in Denmark, there are now moves afoot to overturn their ban on nuclear power that stood since the 1980s. The Danes use a lot of renewable energy, but they've got interconnectors with other countries to back it up. So they bring in hydroelectricity from Norway, nuclear-powered electricity from Sweden, and fossil fuel-generated power from Germany when they need it. Here's the Danish Energy Minister earlier this year.
And I'm looking very much forward to the discussion we will have today in the Council on how we can make the framework so that we can more rapidly increase Europe's capability to produce the energy that we need ourselves, meaning renewable but not exclusive renewables.
Yeah, they love their renewables, but they know they need more, which is why they're looking at scrapping their nuclear ban, which, as this next post explains, wasn't really about nuclear energy anyway. It was more about Cold War fears of nuclear weapons.
It was not really against nuclear power, it was against these weapons and the Cold War and all of that. And they thought we had plenty of energy back then. I mean, there was no worry about CO2. So they thought, why don't we just use oil and gas and coal? So the majority of the people in Denmark said, no, let's not make nuclear energy. We're such a small country anyways. They went down that road. But I think now people are starting to realize that it's not really a good solution.
Yeah, the world is waking up to the benefits of nuclear, which just underscores why Australia needs to get with the program. 31 countries now have domestic nuclear energy. Most of them are looking at tripling their output to get to net zero. Other countries, like Denmark now, are looking at getting started. About 65 extra reactors are currently under construction around the world, and a further 90 are planned. Anyone arguing against nuclear energy now is actually arguing against clean baseload power. They're opposing the only plausible path to net zero, and they're rejecting a modern, sophisticated economy. And Australia, of course, is the only country in the world trying to power a modern economy on renewables plus storage. It's a grand, expensive and failing experiment. So if the Liberals backflip on nuclear now and support Labor's energy disaster instead, well, they might as well shut up shop.